hit up Manny too. All right. Looks like we are live. And I'm going to try to hit up Manny to see if he's joining us.
Yep. So I'm starting to get people trickling in asking about sponsorships.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
That's good.
So I'm working on that. I'm trying to nail down essentially the offering with the sales funnels intact and things like that and let them pick.
Yeah.
But I'm just going to keep it really simple. It's just going to be which shows and, what level of handoff do you want from me to you, if that makes sense.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
Because I feel like if I give them more than 2 or 3 options as far as packages they can get on a particular show, it makes it too hard. And then because then they have to choose, right? And making people choose is rough.
Right. Yeah.
But I've seen basically it's the kind of the 3 package offering, and the middle one's the one you want them to pick, and
Yeah,
so you
exactly.
price anchor off the other 2, and so that's essentially what I'm going to do. And then I'm just going to make the case to folks essentially that the lower end option, where you basically just buy the ads and nothing else, it's only going to work for you if you have your own funnel set up.
Right. Yeah.
And then, if you pick the middle option, then, we'll do a bunch of work. And, I don't know if I want to guarantee that they'll get the outcome they want, but, something to the effect of, hey, look, we're going to set all this stuff up and you can take it from podcast to podcast. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think that makes sense. I definitely wouldn't guarantee the outcome because you can't really, unless you have some kind of outcome that you can agree on that you can guarantee that's within your control. So
yeah, but there's not. I mean, I can tell them, especially if I'm building and managing, the, hey, go check out this thing, or hey, come get this. And the other thing is I really just want to get them to, okay, look, you got to give them something for free to get them in the door. And then, we'll put them through an email sequence, and, we'll have a sales video, and, we're actually going to sell them on this stuff, right? It's not just going to be a, hey, go check this out. It's cool. Right.
Yeah.
And yeah, just work that out that way. And then I'm also going to, I'm working on putting together some worksheets and stuff to help them, craft. And I may just sit down and just walk through it with them once they sign up and just be like, look, we're going to craft your 45-second ad. Right.
Yeah.
Because what most of them are is they basically do, so this episode sponsored by Company X, and Company X does A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. And so, go check them out if you need any of those things.
Right.
And the problem is that people just aren't going to connect with that. But if you can get in there and you can say, hey, look, are you having performance issues on your web app? Well, then you need to go and sign up for this thing, and it'll do the monitoring and it'll tell you where your problem areas are, and then you can go solve it. And we've had this company actually go through the process with us, and they got a 10x increase on a couple of pages, which translated to so much added revenue.
Yeah, no, I think that's the right approach. This way because the more effective their ads are, the more that they're going to stay with you. And
yeah. So essentially, we've got the hook, which is, are you having performance problems in your app? We tell them a little bit of the story, which is just the process that we're going through. And then it's, hey, and we're giving this, free performance checklist away if you go to this URL.
Yeah. Yep.
So that's more what I'm looking at. So anyway.
Oh, I forgot to mention, I finished my 50-mile race on Saturday.
Oh, I was going to ask you about that. How'd that go?
Man, that was some serious pain. It took me 8.5 hours to finish it. So my average pace was 10-minute mile.
Oh, wow.
And it was just, it was brutal. After about mile 30, I just wanted to give up every fiber of my being was saying, quit, just stop. And I still had 20 miles to go, right? That's still like 3
Right.
hours of running. So I just, just kept going, and I convinced myself to make it to, I knew if I made it to 40 that there's no way you're going to quit at 40, because,
Right.
who quits
You're-
a 50-mile race when you're 40 miles in? Like,
Yeah.
so I just kept on counting it down and pushing it out, and got to the end. And yeah, so it was pretty crazy though, pretty extreme. I mean, 8.5 hours of out there running. I got up at like 2:30 a.m. Got out the door at 4 a.m. and finished my run around like 12:30 p.m. So
Wow.
yeah, it was pretty nuts, but got it done, and I'm training for a 100-mile race now.
Dang.
I wasn't planning on it though. When I was like, I did some loops like around my neighborhood, like around the bay. It's like a 17-mile loop. And when I got home to like change out my water bottles at 34 miles, I was basically like, all right, I'm done. I'm not running anymore. I'm quitting running after this race is over, and I'm not doing the 100-mile, right? And but then it only took about a day after the run that I started looking into it again. And I emailed my coach, and I was like, or I did a video, because I always do a video update for him, and I told him, I was like, yeah, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. I think I'm done. I can't imagine doing a 100-mile after doing a 50. And he basically replied back with, congratulations on the run and stuff. But then at the end of the email, he was like, well, you're going to do the 100-mile and you'll see you could. So he was basically pretty adamant that I am going to do the 100-mile. So so that's the plan right now.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations, dude. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah. I mean, I never imagined that I'd be able to run 50 miles. Like, even just a marathon, as you know, is like freaking crazy,
yeah.
like to do. So
yeah, I was pretty wiped out after the marathon. So
yeah, just imagine having to do another one right after it.
I know, right?
Being only halfway there. That's what 50 miles is basically. And 100 miles will be halfway, there's like 4 marathons basically.
Yep.
So
yeah, but people do it. And what's funny is people go do it like up in the mountains and stuff.
Yeah.
Which is
yeah,
nuts.
exactly. Yeah. Now to be fair, like when you're doing like the trails up in the mountains, especially if you're doing like a 100-mile race, you're not really running the whole time. You just can't. Like, you're hiking, speed hiking some of the time, which is still hard. I mean, you're still going up, but it's a little bit of a different thing. So, so I think that's also what makes it more possible. Although there are people that run 100 miles straight, there's a guy that just broke the record for the 100-mile run on a treadmill. And I believe he ran 100 miles on a treadmill in something like, I think it was 11 hours. It was like 11 to 12 hours. So that's running at like like a 6 or 7 minute mile pace, I think, for 11 hours straight. So
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, way to go, man.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah, I burned like 6,600 calories on the run.
Yeah, I'll bet.
I was eating burgers and donuts after that.
Oh, that stuff's good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I picked up a pretty good sponsor as well. I had a company. I don't know if I talked about it last time, but they were asking me. I guess they had worked with me before, and I did the whole thing. I asked them, well, what's your budget, right? So that I can give you, so that I can basically put something together that will work for your budget. That's how I kind of asked the budget question, and they came back with, why don't you give me some options from 10,000 to 20,000? And so,
oh,
and
nice.
this is for a 3-month sponsorship. So I gave them a 10, a 15, and 20, and then they came back and said, oh, we'll take the 20. So that's a pretty good sponsorship sale there. So only problem is they're a bigger company, so I got to deal with the whole invoicing and the, their purchase orders and stuff. But
yeah, that's nuts. It's interesting. I got one email and they said that they had a budget of $5 to $10,000 per month.
Okay, that's good.
So I'm getting back to them, It was funny because they emailed me about JavaScript Jabber, and then they turned around and emailed me again about Ruby Rogues.
Okay.
So, and then I've got. So my sister's been working for me, and she's been. What she does is she goes and she trolls through all the podcasts and conferences out there, and basically finds sponsors, their sponsors, and then goes and finds contact info for their marketing folks, and then I have an email sequence set up that gets sent out to them.
Right.
And so I've got like 400 or 500. No, I've got more than that. Anyway, I've got a ridiculous number of people that I can reach out to and put through the email sequence. So once I have the sponsorship stuff done, I'm going to be sending that around as well, and just being like, hey, look, and I'm going to do the same thing, right? Before it was, hey, let me help you figure out how to do podcast sponsorship, and instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically send them a, basically a worksheet on how to put together an ad message for free.
Yeah.
Right.
Thanks.
And then I'll upsell them to, basically sponsoring.
Yeah.
And then I'm kind of looking at doing the same kind of thing, and like kind of fleshing out the ins and outs of sponsorship, and having that as kind of a course that people can go through, just a real short one.
Right.
And so if you're in my market and you want it, you can either sponsor the podcast or you can just buy it. And then if you're not in my market, then you can just buy it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that makes sense.
So, because then I can essentially say, look, I'm going to walk you through most of this if you're sponsoring one of our shows. Right. But if you just want to know how to do it, then here you go.
Yeah, no, I like it. I think that's good.
So, yeah. So I'm hoping to get most of that done today, but I've got call today. It's kind of ridiculous. That the one company that was gonna do the virtual conference. Yeah, they told me that I cost way too much, but their marketing guy is a friend of mine. He was my accountability partner when I was writing the book. And so he keeps telling me, he's like, look, just hire him. Just hire him and let him do it. So I have another call with them. Me.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
He's telling them to hire me, and so I have a call with them today, and I'm hoping I can just talk them around to doing that. And then I also...
Is he going to be on that call?
No.
You should try and get him on the call, and then you should just keep your mouth shut.
Well, they have a call every week, and he's like, I keep hammering it home. They keep coming to me with stuff, and he's like, I don't know this stuff. Chuck knows this stuff. Hire Chuck.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
you could always try the pull away technique too. Like if you get on this call today, you can be like, look, I understand if it's, you guys might not be ready for me. You might not be able to, be ready to invest, right now. And so maybe it's not the best thing to hire me on to, so get them to argue the opposite, but just make the arguments that they're not ready, that they're not really committed to growing this part of their business right now, any of those things. And then, they'll argue for you. That usually works pretty well. So,
yeah. So we'll see how that all goes, but yeah. And then I finally got an email back from the Small Business Administration, and they asked me how much I want a loan for, so I put that in.
Oh, did they give you like a range of how much?
They said I could borrow up to $99,000.
So, okay. So I got one, and I think I had somewhere around that, and I borrowed the max amount. Now, this is what to consider with this. Like, I'm hesitant to say borrow the max amount, but that's actually the best thing to do. The only reason I'm hesitant to say
I already put in a different amount, and now I'm wishing I could change it to the max amount.
You may be able to. You may be able to go back to them and say that you want the max amount. Now, so the loan, right, you don't have to make any payments for a year.
For a year, right.
And then the interest rate is 3.5%, I believe, around that.
Yeah.
So
3.75, I think. But yeah,
so
it's right
even
around
if
there.
even if it's the max amount, like your payments, monthly payments, and it's a 30-year loan, so your monthly
Yeah.
payments come to like $400 or $500 a month.
Yep.
So in my mind, it's kind of like a no-brainer, like to just pick the max amount, but with the caveat of you got to be real careful with making sure that you invest that money in such a way that you're going to get more than 400 to $500 a month return on it.
Right.
So it's a long
Right.
time that you can, and you can always pay off the loan early. So that's why I was like, okay, I'll just take the max amount.
Yep.
In a year, if I don't have anything to do with the money, then I'll just give it all back, right?
Yep.
If I wanted to, right? So that's how I viewed it. So
And did they actually give you the loan, or have you
yeah,
gotten any of the money yet?
I got the full amount. So
Oh, good deal.
yeah,
I may just call them up and say, look, I've been crunching the numbers and I need to borrow more than what I told you I needed.
Yeah.
See if they can change it.
Yeah. I mean, you might as well if they're given the opportunity.
Yeah.
So the only
Well,
caveat is like, just be careful to not like spend all the money, like
right.
to pull out the money and use it to pay regular expenses. And now you've got a $400 to $500 a month payment that you have to make on top of everything else.
Right.
So
yeah, the thing there is that, yeah, I mean, that's enough to run us for, several months. So
yeah.
yeah. So I think I'm just going to call them up and say, hey, look, anyway, but yeah, so if I can get that money in the bank, then I should be in good shape. And then it's just, that's exactly it. It's just investing it into stuff that's gonna make a difference. So yeah.
Yep. Let's see. What have I been working on? I'm trying to get advertising working. I've been doing this 21-day ad challenge. Been going through that, and I'm not 100% sold on this because I feel like they're just trying to make it as confusing as possible so that you'll buy the $1,000 program, which I'm not too, happy about. But I think I'm learning enough where I'll be able to figure out how to do it on my own anyway. So, I don't have any problem paying $1,000 for their course either. But the problem I have is that, if I'm doing this thing, it shouldn't, like, the purpose of it should be to tell me what to do, not to make me confused so that so that I have to buy something to get clarification. That's, so I'm a little bit skeptical of that. But
what is it? It's an ad challenge.
Yeah, it's like to create the ultimate ad challenge, or I forget what they call it. What is it? It's like the epic or OGA, ultimate. Let me see what it was called. Everlasting ad challenge. That's what it is. So, but yeah, I'm working on that. But Bulldog Mindset's been growing though, just with what I've got. I mean, I'm getting like, I don't know what it is. I did some interviews on YouTube. Maybe that's helping, but I'm getting about 6 new members a day now in the membership, which is pretty good. So I'm at like 600 members right now, 602 members. And then I'm doing the mastermind group. I've got a 6-person business mastermind. I'm doing the first call this weekend on Saturday.
Oh, nice. You got 6 people in?
Mm-hmm. So 6 people paying $1,000 a month for that.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah. One person paid the whole like 10 grand up front, like, to get
for a full year.
Yeah. So yeah, so that should work out well. We'll see how that goes. And then but yeah, I did a bunch of YouTube like interviews in kind of the man space and YouTube with some popular channels. And I think that must be what's causing my growth so much, because I don't know, I'm just seeing a ton of people signing up for my email list and then converting over to Bulldog Mindset membership. We're reworking the coaching funnel too, so that there's basically, before I just had a coaching page up on Bulldog Mindset, but now I had my copywriter work on making it so that it collects their email address, and then they've got an application and, a pitch. So I should be able to hopefully get more coaching clients by doing that. So yeah, I mean, yeah, it's crazy. Like I would expect business to be down with everything, but it's been doing pretty solid, I would say. And then yeah, I've been working on really just trying to tighten up most of those things. And then YouTube has actually been going crazy. I've been definitely hitting on the current events seems to work a lot, right? So I did
Yeah.
this video on the George Floyd thing, like my take on it, and it was a pretty balanced approach. I was talking about basically libertarian viewpoints on it, and I think it's at like 20,000 views right now. It did like 10,000 views in the first day or so.
Oh, wow.
And then I did a video yesterday that's called "Alpha Males Don't Kneel," and that one
pardon
did
me
pretty
for
well. Yeah,
yeah. I still have people telling me this is the perfect time for you to apologize for what for taking the stand that you took. And a couple of those folks, I basically said, I have 2 words for you: Drew Brees.
Yeah,
because he apologized, his wife apologized, and every time they apologize, they just get kicked in the.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, that's why you shouldn't apologize. As a general rule, you should not apologize. Like, so
well, I don't feel like I have anything to apologize for anyway.
Right.
But still, it's like, look, even if I felt like I did have something to apologize for, Drew Brees.
Yeah.
They're not going to let that guy go.
No, it's like a witch hunt, right? Yep. So, I mean, it's the same thing. It's the exact same thing, right? What happens when the witch confesses to being a witch, even though she's not a witch, right? They kill her anyway.
Burn her at the stake. Yeah.
Right. Then they're like, well, you're a witch, so therefore we must burn you at the stake. And now you better name all the other witches, right? That's what they do. Like it's the same thing as the Spanish Inquisition, right? Or a heretic, right? During the Spanish Inquisition, they did the same thing. Okay, they torture someone, put them on the fucking rack, and they're like, admit that you're a heretic, and or they would like give them the profess your basically like profess the Christian church as confess your sins, and then they just kill them anyway. So
yeah,
that's how it goes. And now it bolsters their army, because now they can say, see, this person confessed, they admitted they were wrong.
Yeah.
And so it just doesn't make sense. And again, it's weird because people confuse what I was saying about this. But when I say don't apologize, I don't mean don't ever acknowledge that you're wrong, but that's all you have to do is acknowledge that you're wrong, right? There's plenty of times where I'm wrong, where I'm like, I mishandled this situation, or I did this in the wrong way, or I wouldn't have done this this way now. Those are all ways that you can acknowledge to some degree being wrong, but it doesn't require an apology, right? An apology is worthless anyway. Like if I wrong someone, I just do something to make up for it or to right the wrong.
Yeah.
Because some stupid words that, and kneeling and prostrating yourself to someone does not serve any purpose.
So. Well, and the other thing is this happened way back in like December, January. I had people saying, well, you need to apologize because what you said hurt people. And I said, well, then those people can come to me and tell me that it hurt them. Right. And then I can talk to them about, look, I didn't have any intention of hurting you. I didn't have any, and we can have a discussion over, my contrition over the outcome.
Right.
But that's a different conversation, and that's not an apology for having an opinion.
Right. And even if I were to make a concession to say that apologies are sometimes warranted, they should not be public ever. They're private between an individual. So when you make it a public apology, what you're really doing is you're asking the mob to back off. Like you're begging for mercy. You're basically trying to avoid the consequences of your actions instead of fully accepting them, right? If you do something wrong and you're going to face backlash from it, just face the damn backlash. Don't try and like lessen the backlash, like, because the apology is that's what the purpose of it is to try and like make it so that you don't get penalized as much, which is just ridiculousness, right? So it's like trading your principles and your values for less harm to you, which is what
and they're going to punish you anyway.
Yeah.
So what's interesting here is that some people have tried to dredge up the stuff that happened last year.
Oh
on
yeah,
me.
yeah.
But there's so much other garbage going across Twitter right now that
Yeah.
everything falls apart. All of it does.
Yeah.
You know, somebody will tweet it and you'll see like two of their friends tweet it and then it just kind of crashes, which is
Exactly.
kind of funny.
Yeah. But
And the other thing that I don't understand, I mean, I guess I kind of understand it, but I don't think it's right, is that I'm seeing this filter into some of the other programming communities, right? So like the Ruby community. So the Ruby linter that everybody uses is called Rubocop, and it, you know, was named after RoboCop,
right.
but it says cop. In fact, the stuff that sets the policies that it's going to enforce are called cops.
Right.
And and so people were like, well, it's time to rename this one, and the guy who runs the project, he's going, no, that's a ton of work. It doesn't add any value. And while I understand where you all are coming from,
Yeah.
I named it after RoboCop. So, he
Yeah.
basically said, I'm not going to change it.
Yeah.
And people were pissed at that. A couple people forked the project and changed the name. And
Oh
I'm
my
like,
gosh. Yeah.
and I'm going, okay, well, good luck. Go through all the code now and change every place where it says cop into whatever else. And,
yeah.
I'm like, if you want to do that work and then somebody wants to use your tool instead of his tool and you want to maintain it, I mean, whatever, right?
Yeah.
But it's wild. And it's crazy because people were saying, well, code is political. And I'm like, no, it's not. I have a hydraulic jack that I use to jack my car up. The jack is not political. My car is not political. I may drive it to politically, based stuff, right? Meetings for the party because I'm involved in the local party. But the car's not political.
Right.
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 I have a bunch of power tools in my garage. None of those are political, but I could use those to build signs and stuff like that, right? For political things. But the tools aren't political.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
Yeah.
It's gone absolutely off the rails.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. But one thing I was thinking about, like, I don't know, I kind of coined this yesterday.
Looked like Manny popped in and popped back off.
He's like, I don't want this. This is political. He's like, Entreprogrammers is not political. That's what Manny's saying right now. But
exactly.
but no, well, here, I think here's one of the things, like, and I was thinking about this yesterday. I recorded a video and I was like, basically everything should begin with pragmatism and end with pragmatism. There's like an in-between where like principles and values come in, but you have to begin with a pragmatic view and then you have to end with a pragmatic view, because dying on a hill serves no purpose for the most part, right? There are some hills that may be worth dying on, but you only get to die on one hill. And so, when it comes down to it, you have to like look at the pragmatic approach. It's like, do I really care about any of this shit? Does it actually really affect me? Right. I mean, even if looters are burning down the fucking city, if they're not burning down my house, does it really matter? Right. If they're pretty damn close to me, then it starts to matter. But, so I don't know. So it's kind of interesting to discuss and debate. But at the end of the day, it's like all of this stuff is just, it's just pointless. So,
yeah.
But it is, like I said, it is growing my YouTube channel quite a bit. So,
yeah, I guess one thing that I think is worth talking about just on the business front is, I mean, I'm trying to be pragmatic, or whatever you want to call it, right? I'm trying to be smart about the way I do things and, kind of pick my battles. But, how do I pick my battles, right? How do I know if it's something that's worth actually going out and fighting about or not? Or, standing up on or not? I mean, it's one thing if it's like you done wrong and I'm like, no, I didn't done wrong, right?
Right.
But beyond that, because you're taking advantage of it in the sense that you're speaking up on it and it's, it's getting you traffic, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, I don't know. This is my kind of take on it, is if you're a general, well, again, I have the video coming out tomorrow, but basically like the pragmatic viewpoint says that unless if you're just a person who has a Facebook account, like what pragmatically what are you actually going to do besides piss off your friends,
Right.
possibly lose your job and not change anyone's mind, maybe change one person's mind, right? But probably not, right? So you're not actually doing anything by championing a cause, whatever cause it is, right? If you're just now, if you have a platform, it's different now, but then you have to ask the question of what is my platform based on,
Right.
and what do I care about in this world? And if your platform is
Mhm.
based on, for example, let's Amazon has a platform, right?
Right.
Their business is, or Strava, let's say Strava, right? Strava, because Strava did a whole like thing with the banner and telling about, you know, how
Oh, they did?
yeah, for a BLM stuff. And I was like, okay, your platform Strava is just like recording people's runs, like their workouts. So do you want to make your platform about politics? Because that no one's going to pay you, you know, for that. And so it's the same thing, right? We have to decide, okay, what is our platform? Now mine is sort of in the middle, right? Mine is like the whole part of like, at least for Bulldog Mindset, for Simple Programmer, I'm not even going to touch the issue. I don't give a fuck at all. Like,
Yeah.
fuck that. But for Bulldog Mindset, my platform is based on teaching men how to survive in this world, how to be tough men, right? To how to be alpha male, let's say that, and how to avoid the victim mindset. So these social issues to some degree are important, right? Because it's a matter of, you know, like when I did the video yesterday about alpha males don't kneel, I wasn't on either side of the equation, right? I was just saying, look, do not be bullied by anyone.
Right.
Like if you're being bullied, whether you're bullied again, and people automatically interpret it as me on the whatever side they're not on, right? When I say this, but if you're being bullied by anyone, if you're being caused to pledge allegiance to take a knee for something you don't believe in because of social pressure, then you're not an alpha male. You're a victim. You're a victim mindset, right? And so that was really the purpose. And that, like, again, even though the political environment makes that something that benefits my channel, like it's going to get exposure, I'm using that exposure to now give people the message that is the core of my message, which is don't have the victim mindset. Anyone who is socially pressured, who does these things. So, you know, but yeah, so I mean that's kind of where it makes sense. And the only other alternative is this, right? So this was one that I presented in the video that's coming out tomorrow too, which is the idea that, like, if you want to, like, you know, as an individual, the pragmatic approach probably is just keep your mouth shut and don't do anything. As a platform, the pragmatic approach is do what's going to benefit you financially as a business. But there is one other alternative, which is as a group, right? So, for example, let's say that you went to a bunch of Microsoft employees that were tired of people getting canceled and tired of stupid shit like you just said about the RoboCop, you know, Ruby Cop or whatever. If you had enough people, if you had, like, let's say 1,000 Microsoft employees that all like grouped together and basically almost formed a union, right? Of saying, look, we're not going to be canceled. We're not going to allow each other to be canceled. Like having a political viewpoint different than someone, you know, in canceling them and bullying them is not acceptable, then you would have a defense. Then as an individual, you could be part of a collective and you could say, hey, you know, if you fire one of us, we're all quitting, or we're all going on strike, or we're all right. That's actually effective, right? Again, is it worth it? Is it? I don't know. Those are, but I'm just looking at it from a pragmatic viewpoint, right? Because that ultimately, that's why I said, like, you have to begin with pragmatism and you have to end with pragmatism. In between, there's a bunch of principles and there's a bunch of stuff that you believe in, but ultimately, like, dying for a cause that you believe in that doesn't actually advance the cause is a worthless act. It's you're not a martyr, you're just a sacrifice, a worthless sacrifice. And so that's why I say you have to begin with pragmatism and end with pragmatism, because you begin with pragmatism saying, should I even care about this at all? Does it even occupy any space in my mind, or should I completely ignore this? And then if you decide, well, okay, I should care about this, then you bring into your beliefs and your principles and what should you do and what would you do in an ideal world. And then you end with pragmatism again, saying, now, okay, I know where I stand, but should I stand? because does it make sense? Because what will happen? What will be the end results of my action? If I post some shit on Facebook, will it actually change anything? Will it improve, or will it cause me harm in my life? Right. You know, if I have a platform, it's a little bit different, you know, and then if I have a group that I could join, it's a little bit different. So that's where that pragmatism, I think, you know, you have to end with. But I don't know. That's the most
All right,
logical
moving
way I
on.
can take it. All right.
Oh man,
Yep.
how's the advertising going?
So I'm still going through the ad challenge. I finally caught up on all the stuff. I have to tell you, I don't know if you have, how far have you gone through the ad challenge thing? Have you watched all the
Only
videos?
week one.
Okay, I've gone up to week 2. Week 2 ends with a pitch for $1,000 product. And here's the thing that I have with this. Like I'm starting to feel like I'm getting some useful information out of it, but it's really just thrown together a bunch of like random shit that does not like flow or follow. He's like taking some lectures from here and here and here. And I feel like when I got pitched at the end of the second week, like the plan was to confuse the fuck out of you so that you buy this $1,000 product that gives you clarity, which I'm not, I don't like that. I don't like there's but I'm taking notes. Like, so again, right? Pragmatism, right? We'll make pragmatism is going to be my theme of this episode, but I know that I'm being like sheared, but I don't care because I'm still gonna. I paid like what $50 or I can't remember what it cost for this.
$50 worth.
I'm gonna get my fucking $50 worth because I got notes. I'm following the worksheets. I'm doing the stuff, and by the end of this, I will have a good idea of how to make.
I already got my $50 worth by filling out the worksheets, the 2 worksheets that I had.
Yeah.
That was worth it because it gave me a lot of clarity as to how I need to focus and think about these things. So I agree. It's almost like I'm wasting my time a lot of times listening to that stuff. So $50 worth is probably already there. Just now I have to find the nuggets of wisdom inside that damn thing.
Yeah.
And the audio level is so low. It's like, what the hell, man? You guys don't know how to record videos?
I'm listening to it on like 3x speed for the most part, and then I have to crank the volume.
The volume levels are so low. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. There's even
what
parts,
challenge is this?
The everlasting ad challenge.
Everlasting ad.
There's
I'm
even
just
parts,
curious.
Manny, I don't know if you caught this. There's parts where what's his name? Is it Cranston or what? Keith?
Yeah, Keith Krantz.
So where he actually does this in the video. So his editor, who like sucks, did not actually edit out the
Oh
cut.
no.
So it's like, and there's misspellings and there's all kinds of like, I'm like, wow, like guys, come on. Like, you know, you're selling this thing. They're trying to like at least put some damn polish on this, like, and have a plan, because there's no plan. It's like a bunch of random shit, and it's like very loosely organized in the sense that the first week is like this discovery and research, and the second week is copywriting, but there's no actual like system in place of this is what you need to do. But the worksheets were valuable. Like I said, I'm getting my money worth out of it, and at the end of this, I think I'll have a good idea of what to do. And you know, who knows, maybe, you know, my whole plan is if I can just get the one ad out of this that is actually effective, then I'll probably spend $1,000 and buy their full system and start implementing that. So
yeah, I mean, I am convinced that I do need to go through one of these normal trainings.
Is he cutting out for you too, John?
Yeah.
Down, then try to struggle through it myself. Damn it, cutting out again.
It's okay. It was only every other word, so I have no idea what you said. But sometimes it's my connection. So
yeah, I don't know if he's trying to talk or not.
yeah. I think he was trying to say that he needs to go through some kind of training like this.
Yeah. We'll just talk.
Yeah, no matter what, some kind of training.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense in the sense that, you know, if you've got your funnel generally works, or your sales page generally works, and you just need to get more traffic on it, then, and you don't know how to do it, then that makes a lot of sense to get trained on it.
Well, there is a limit to what, like, we know how to get traffic,
Right.
but there's a limit to how much traffic you can get and how much qualified targeted traffic you can get to sell
Right.
to, right? So there's a limit to it, and that's why I think it's important to start selling through ads rather than just go organic, which all of us have been doing for ever.
Yeah.
Basically, we've never really spent much time, energy, or effort into converting
Right.
paid media, but it's definitely something that's worth putting time, energy, and money into. And at some point, I do plan to hire an agency as well, like hopefully in the near future, once I get some of it working, then I want to hire the agency to do this work rather than try to figure it all the way myself. But I do need to get the first, I think, $10,000 in sales just to know that I know the mechanics of it, and I can convert it. Even if it's at break even $10,000, it's worth it. Now it's time to, scale. I can hire other people to do that damn thing. But I think in the past, when you guys tried it, John, with Simple Programmer, one of the challenges was that you guys were throwing a completely warm sales funnel, warm sales page to a cold audience and throwing it to an agency and hoping that they could work their magic, which it's hard to believe they can do it. It's almost like I think we talked about it before, where it's like you're trying to get product market fit all over again with this sales funnel, with this sales page, with this system of getting traffic, because this is a new kind of traffic. So you really have to get this marketing right for this traffic.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Well-
the messaging makes a huge difference, right? Like the copy. Because one thing that I did really get out of this that makes a lot of sense was the idea that you can move people from the unaware all the way up to the, like, within one ad, within one piece of copy. Like normally the way we've looked at marketing in the past is we're marketing towards aware, unaware, the problem aware, right? The solution aware, right? And marketing specifically to those. But what they're really showing in this ad is that you can move someone from completely unaware all the way up to solution aware with one ad, and that's the best way to go. And that's where you get those sales right off of the front end. And even just the idea of putting the price in the text of the ad is I think those were valuable. Plus the way that they define those headlines, like with social media today, it's actually quite useful for YouTube as well, right? Because you can look at those headlines, and the same ones that are going to work for Facebook are going to work for YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you running ads on that one right now?
I'm still just running that barely, just the couple of, I'm not even spending the $10 a day on it. I think that I'm not really focusing on that right now. I want to focus on getting this course done and then following what,
Which
build
course
a,
are you
build a
building?
good ad and see what happens.
the,
Same thing, this everlasting
yeah.
ad challenge.
Yeah,
Oh, just finishing the challenge. I gotcha.
exactly.
I thought you were like building a course.
No, yeah.
Here I
but-
am busy building my automation systems, improving my automations for my existing funnels or existing products. Because I feel like it's now old. So I'm revamping everything from scratch. And I forgot how painful it is to go and change your automation and
Oh, yeah.
move things around and hope that it'll all work according to plan.
Yep.
So painful. But yeah, that's like I figured that as I'm working through these ads, I figured that the most important thing I have right now is I need a working, I want to figure out quite a bit of the back end funnel while I am working the front end of this, so that if we sell, we at least can sell multiple things at the same time. Like we have something converting for a much bigger back end than what is right now. So I'm waiting for a few more of my automations to work properly, and then I'm gonna get into hardcore advertising.
Yeah. One thing that I'm also working on a bit, and I'm kind of curious on your end, what your takes on this is, since I'm planning on doing this for some of your products, both for Manny and John, is I'm actually looking at putting together a funnel that essentially, you know, I give away some freebie on the front end of that, and then I have a sales page that says, hey, you know, go get Manny's productivity bundle, and you know, if you buy it, then you know, I'll throw in a couple of things that I've made too, and see if I can get people to convert that way. I'm kind of playing with a few ideas there. You know, I might want to borrow some testimonials or things from your websites as well, but I don't know how far I can go with that and still, you know, have you be comfortable and have me be comfortable with the way that it goes together. Does that make sense?
I'm all good with it. I just want you to I just want you to make sure that you're gonna get the benefits out of it, the work that you're gonna put into it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, at this point, it's kind of an experiment, right? Because I don't actually know how it's going to convert, or if I'm going to get it all right on the first go around, or if I'm going to have to sit and tweak it. But
Well,
I figure it's a
marketing
good
is just a
learning
game of
experience for
numbers.
now.
Marketing is
What?
just a game of numbers. We can give,
Yeah.
I can give you an estimate right now as to what's going to happen. We just put the numbers through the funnel, and we know, like roughly speaking, I can tell you what to expect. It could
Right.
vary by a little bit here and there, but it's not going to vary by a lot. So if you are putting your existing audience, like if you're going to automate it through your email funnel, as in like your new leads go through these different products,
Uh-huh.
then we can just look at, okay, how many people are coming in every month? How many people are
Right.
clicking on these offers? And the conversion rate on that could be anywhere from 2 to 5%, depending on how good the offer is.
Yeah.
If you have a badass offer, maybe 6%, but you know, and that's it, right? So number of clicks you send to the sales page and the percentage of people who buy from that. So that's going to be your simple calculation, back of the napkin calculation here.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, John?
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, it can really depend. I mean, it's that formula, right? It's 40% the list, 40% or 20% the offer, and 20% the copywriting, and that's only 80%. So there's some.
No. It's 40% the
60%.
list, 40% the list, 40% offer, and
Right.
20% copy.
Yeah. Okay. That's where I go. Yeah. So the thing is, like, and by the list we mean the product fit for the audience, right? So,
yeah.
So if as long as that is within range, and the offer we know is a good offer or not, because that whether it converted. If you have if it's converted on other people's lists, then the offer itself is good. The big variable is the list itself, really, because you can nail it on the copy as well. So yeah, so as long as those things are pretty much within the range, then you can be pretty confident of the results just based on how many clicks are sent, or how many, based on the size of the list. Now, there is a huge range of variability in there, depending on the list and the offer, because like I said, I've been running so many affiliate promotions with Simple Programmer, and literally I can do a promotion that will do 100, 200 sales, and I can do another one that will do 0 sales. Like, that's how different it can be. So that has even converted on someone else's list. So that number one key of the list, like having the right list is probably the most important for determining. Everything else will kind of fall into line if you have at least a similar audience.
Yep. Makes sense.
Yeah. Speaking of which, what promotion are you running this week?
Let's see. Oh, it's Clever Programmer one. Man, I'm so over my email limit for Drip. It keeps on upgrading me. Every time I send an email, it costs me like $300 to send an email right now. Because it
Oh,
keeps
wow.
on upgrading me. So
What?
yeah.
$300 for the month or $300 for that individual email?
For that email. Yeah.
How many people are on your
Dude.
list?
Like 70,000. Because I've sent like 1.3 million emails this month or something like that. So
Oh, wow.
or I keep getting a message from Drip like here. Drip just sent me this. Just heads up, you've exceeded your monthly email limit in Drip. Current plan May 14th to June 14th, up to 151,000 people, 1.8 million emails per month, $6,632. New plan 159,000 people, 1.9 million emails per month, $695. So or $6,952. So yeah, so it bumped me up $300 for sending an email.
Dude,
it
Drip
ends
is
tomorrow
flipping
though.
expensive.
Yeah. Well,
Drip is
it only if you send so many emails because you only get I'm sending twice the
ConvertKit
emails.
ConvertKit doesn't charge you like that.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
stupid. Like you could be paying 10% of this. $6,000 a month.
Yeah. Yeah. This is crazy.
Or a
No,
year.
not per month, per year.
Okay, yeah, that's
Yeah.
thank God.
So-
I was like, damn man, this is like the business is
Yeah.
more expensive than freaking the
Yeah.
promotion now.
But with the
Oh
clever
my God.
Kazi
Okay.
one, so check this out. So if I go into his interface, this is the thing that just drives me friggin' nuts. All right. So if I go for clicks for yesterday, right? 346 clicks. For today, 291 clicks. But I switched to commissions. Guess how many commissions it's showing for yesterday and today? 0. So
Dollars?
Commissions?
$0. 0 conversions.
Oh, okay.
That's not true. So I've emailed his person and said, hey, you guys, your tracking is fucked up. You need to fix this like right away. So now I'm going to have to
Hang
track
on,
down
how many-
tracking again.
How many emails have you guys sent?
Just 2.
Okay.
But that's enough clicks where there's going to be at least one sale. I mean, really, like we've done this promotion before. I know how many sales, like you said, right? Like it's predictable. So I know that we've gotten sales on it. There's no question
So
about this at all.
it's not going to a webinar, it's going to a direct sales page.
Yes. So
What program, what are they using?
what do you mean? What are they using? Oh, they're using Samcart. So
Samcart's pretty robust.
it's tracking the clicks. So I don't know what they're doing that is making it not track the actual conversions, but it's pretty annoying.
So this is a short promotion. How many emails? Are you sending emails all the way through the weekend or what?
I think we'll be sending on Saturday. The other problem is like I couldn't get their team to respond to my copywriter until I text them multiple times for this promotion that we're supposed to be doing. So yeah, I'm pretty close to like not doing any promo. Even though their promotions have been profitable, I'm pretty close to being like, yeah, we're not going to work with you anymore.
Yeah.
But
Interesting.
yeah, because we did, usually we do pretty well in the promotions, but I don't like when people fuck around with like attribution.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Well,
like a no.
Yeah.
That's my cardinal rule with affiliate promotions. I always want to make my affiliates as much money as I can because
they'll keep sending you traffic.
Exactly. Because
Right.
it's an endless source of traffic. If they're going to make money, why will they stop promoting you?
Right.
Right.
Yep.
So anytime I see an affiliate or any JV partner who's trying to nickel and dime, I know they're not worth doing business with because then I know they're just they don't understand business properly, or they at least don't understand how to do partnerships properly. Because if you cannot wrap your head around the idea that only if the other person makes money will you make more money in the long term. Like if you don't get that concept, you cannot succeed in this business, in the affiliate business, or in the joint ventures. So every time, like I'm more than happy to, pay as much as I can to John. I'm actually excited because I know the more we do it, the more it'll keep on.
Yep.
You know, if we can do it, it's always going to be fruitful. So it's like never a good idea to nickel and dime your affiliates. Like never a good idea to mess around with them, to try to be like, oh no, you own that affiliate, that attribution is not yours, and this and that. Like you start doing that, man, people are just gonna stop working with you.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. No, it's very true. Like it's like because the thing about like affiliate deals is like, even if you got the short end of the stick, right? Like, you know, if you had someone that was a really good affiliate, even if you offered them like 70% of the revenue, right? It would still be beneficial to you if you know that they're going to do it like 5 or 6 times, because like every single time you do it is a free money that you're getting essentially. Like that's like, even if you're getting a smaller amount of it, it's free money because it costs you nothing. Right. It's like the only possible cost that it could come to you is if there's overlapping customers and someone would have bought anyway from you because they're in your audience, but now they've bought through the affiliate, which is such a small percentage. Like, you know, that's why it just makes sense, like to exactly what you're saying. Cause you know, it's just free money. Like it costs you nothing literally to do it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I've had a few people essentially, you know, because I've talked to a few people about affiliate stuff, and yeah, it's their concern is essentially that. Yeah. So somebody else, you know, advertises my thing. They're already in my audience. I have to pay them out. But yeah, it's going to be a handful of people that fall in that category.
If they
were the ones that ultimately got them to click, well, that's free money.
Yeah. If they got them to buy, who cares? I think if you're thinking that small, you're not going to be in business for too long. Like if that's your limit of thinking, like, oh, but I don't want to pay them for the people they converted for me. Like, what the hell? What do you want?
Yep.
So one interesting thing in going through the exercise with like the ad thing is because I filled out the worksheets and I was trying to figure out like my avatar, you know, essentially, and you know, the hero and like the messaging and looking at the competition thing, you know, did the headlines thing, and I had some trouble doing the headlines thing at first because like it's like, what is the actual thing that I'm giving as an outcome, and what is the problem, and you know, and what is the actual like the big idea of the company. And then I realized that as much as I dislike the term, alpha male is really what my customers are looking for, and that's really the key phrase and the term. And when I look at my YouTube channel, all the YouTube videos that say alpha male in them, they do the best, right? Like it's almost a guaranteed hit if I put alpha male in the title. So what I realized too is looking at the competition, like I tried to look for like, what's my competition, right? And I kind of came up with How to Beast, Alpha M, who else did I put on there? Wake Up Warrior. And I think I had one more. I can't think of who it is. Oh, maybe Alpha Male Strategies. Yeah, I mean, that's who I put in there, right? So when I look at all of those guys, the only person who's doing anything like mainstream, like large, like that's actually spending advertising dollars is Wake Up Warrior, right?
Yeah, Garrett White. Yeah.
And he's not my direct competition because his segment is married businessmen that like, you know, essentially, you know, Christian married businessmen. That's who he's, right? So
sounds like someone I know.
Yeah, but that's not like totally my segment. My segment's a little bit different, right? So anyway, like even Aaron Marino, like Alpha M, right, or How to Beast, right? There, like Alpha M has other companies that he's doing mainstream, but as far as his like competition with my audience, he doesn't have any ads. He's just doing YouTube advertising, right? How to Beast, it's YouTube. Alpha Male Strategy, it's YouTube, right? So they're all organic traffic. There's no one that is actually running Facebook ads targeting men in the essentially to become alpha males, right? That there's none of that, or you know, personal development for men. So I was thinking about this, and there's a huge opportunity, like a huge space here, a huge vacuum in this industry where I could position myself as a huge player and build a really big company around this idea, because there's no one else that is really doing it. There is literally there's competition when you go to YouTube channels and views and all that stuff, but there's no like you think about someone like How to Beast, right? he's got like something like almost 1 million YouTube subscribers now, but he's spending all his money on video production, right? His video production is great. It's awesome. He does these vlogs, and they're awesome, but he's not spending any money on advertising. It doesn't exist in the advertising world at all. And so, it's like, yeah, you can grow organically like that, but if I can make paid advertising work, I'll be able to outstrip him very, very quickly, like within a few months once I get it going off, versus his 1 million YouTube subscribers, right? So I think
I have
that's
a podcast episode for you. We talked
Oh, yeah?
about this pretty much exact thing. It was Google display ads. It wasn't Facebook ads, but beyond that, it was the same thing. One of our panelists on Freelancer Show, she started doing this to drive traffic to her blog, and she was getting all kinds of traffic off of it, and she was getting all kinds of return traffic off of it too.
Yeah.
And
So
she was just paying advertising to get people onto her blog, and she was paying per conversion, right? So she was it was CPC, not CPM.
Right. So it'd be click. It would be a conversion then.
No, it was cost per conversion. So if they clicked on the link and they didn't stick around for, I think it was a minute.
Oh, I see that. Okay. Yeah.
Then it didn't count. She didn't have to pay for it.
Interesting.
And so she was only paying for the results that she wanted, but then that started to convert for her into client work and stuff like that.
Okay. Okay.
I'll have to share the link to you.
Yeah, no, I'd like to see that, but yeah, I mean, I think there's a huge opportunity, and like I said, it forced me to sort of really think about who is my audience and what do they want, and really that concept of alpha male really makes the most sense. In fact, I've got some of see what you guys think of some of these headlines, because I went through that exercise, and let's see. Okay, so big ideas. All right, so. Okay, so like headline, these are some of the headlines, like using the format. How to become an alpha male without becoming an asshole. Now, obviously, I can't use the word asshole in a Facebook ad, but I can do something to the, why over 600 men have decided to become bulldogs and adopt the bulldog mindset. How I am teaching men to become alpha males in 30 days with the bulldog mindset membership. The 3 fears of every man and how the bulldog mindset gives you the confidence to overcome each one. That's probably one of my favorite ones.
Yep.
Would you like to become an alpha male? If you can be standing up, I'll show you how to become an alpha male.
That's not going to happen on Facebook, but yeah.
Yeah, that one. In just 30 days after joining the Bulldog Mindset, you go from beta to alpha. According to sexual health researchers, women prefer a dominant man. Give me 30 days and I'll make you into a real man. So anyway, so these are like, obviously most of these will not fly on Facebook as they're written, but I can probably wordsmith them and convey the same message in such a way that I can, make those work. So.
Yeah. I'm debating between fronting my productivity pack or entrepreneurship pack as the offer to go after. This productivity pack has a bunch of upsells that do make it convert well, but then entrepreneurship, I can put them into the online business accelerator. So.
Yep. Well, I've got to jump off in like 15 minutes because I've got to do a call.
Okay. Well, I guess we should probably wrap up then and do our thoughts.
Or I could do thoughts and you guys keep talking.
So,
yeah, I got a podcast interview in about 30 minutes or 15 minutes as well. So.
All right.
So my thought is basically just commitment, right? So I did this one funnel away challenge. I still have like a week left on it. And so I'm getting these funnels together, and I mean, it's been freaking hard. It's been a challenge just to get through everything that they throw at you, because 30 days, given the amount of information that they're pouring into my head, it's been insane. and I made a commitment to do it. And so I've stayed up late a couple of nights. I've gone and gotten help from people in the group or from the coaches or things like that. But dang it, I'm doing it. And that's a big part of getting this stuff done. I mean, you know, you guys are talking about what you're doing with the challenges that you're going through, but it's, you know, it's a big part of getting this stuff done as you make the commitment. And I don't know if you guys like explicitly in your head said, I'm committing to getting this done, or if you just, when you signed up, it was just kind of, okay, we're, you know, I signed up, so I'm going to do it. But for me, I had to make a solid commitment, right? And just do it. And, you know, I think it's going to pay off. I think it's going to make a major difference for me. But I mean, in the end, that's the way it goes. And I think that's a big part of just getting through the hard stuff that you got to get done.
Yeah, no, that's true. I mean, once you commit, then what's the is it Ralph Waldo?
Providence moves too.
Yeah.
It's what?
Once you commit, Providence moves too. It's a whole damn quote, man.
Yeah.
William H. Murray, I think. W.H. Murray.
Yeah, that's it. Okay. It says
Until one is committed, there is hesitancy and the chances of pulling out. But once you commit, even Providence moves, and you meet with unexpected blah 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 to make your life happen.
yeah.
Yeah. I found the quote on Goodreads.
Yeah.
So I'll just,
It's a good quote.
Yeah, there's one like commit Providence moves. Oh, yeah. Maybe it's like a subquote of that, like a paraphrase of that quote. But there was one that like Providence moves to. With the here is one.
W.H. Murray. That's the worry.
So maybe this is a paraphrase of it, because there's one that goes, where is it?
yeah, it is. It's the same quote. It's
Yeah.
until one is committed, there is hesitancy, the chance to draw back, always ineffectiveness. Concerning all acts of initiative and creation, there is one elementary truth, the ignorance of which kills countless ideas and splendid plans, that the moment one definitely commits to oneself, then Providence moves to. All sorts of things occur to help one that would never otherwise have occurred. A whole stream of events issue from the decision, raising in one's favor all manner of unforeseen incidents and meetings and material assistance, which no man can have dreamt would have come his way. I have learned a deep respect for one of Goethe's couplets. Whatever you can do or dream you can, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it.
There you go.
Yep. All right. My thoughts. So I was talking to Evan Carmichael, and was telling him about my very inconsistent showing on my content side of the game, which is my YouTube, my podcast, my blog, all of those things, my Instagram. And he suggested something that was so obvious, but at the same time very revolutionary. He said, well, it's obvious that you're not the guy to do it. You actually need a project manager or a content calendar editor, like a manager to manage the whole content stuff that you have, because then you can be the talent while you have someone else doing the operation side of things. So you need an ops person in your business now. And that's really well said, because it's not my forte. It's not my forte to be the ops person. That's not my thing. I don't really enjoy it. Don't really enjoy putting the project plan together and putting it all, trying to make the execution work and all that stuff. I just want to create. And so yeah, there are a lot of things in our business that we are doing and we're struggling, and we're struggling more and more. Some things, that patterns keep repeating, but the key there is to go find people to help you with those things rather than try to keep struggling through them.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, if you had someone that was a content manager that basically said, hey, make a video on this and it's due by this time, you need to get this video, then, you know, you would just know what you need to
Yeah.
work on. And yeah, you
Yep.
basically need to hire your own boss. So
Yeah, you could say
Or
that.
be your own boss.
Hire a project. Well, I have to hire a project manager, and the project manager has to give me timelines
Yeah.
and deadlines for this,
Fair
and this,
enough.
and this.
yeah.
Yeah, I become the talent, and they become the operations person.
Yep.
Let's see. So mine is what I was saying before, which is begin in pragmatism, end in pragmatism. So, you know, in between there's some debate and discussion and deciding what your values and principles are, but you should begin everything with a pragmatic viewpoint. And then eventually when you decide what action you're going to take, it should also be from a pragmatic viewpoint, because all the principles and value systems don't matter if they're ineffective, like if the application does not matter. And for us, mostly as individuals, what affects us is very small in scope, and the effects that we can have on the world is very small in scope. And you know, the pragmatic approach just calls us to remember that and to recognize that in our actions, and to take the actions that are going to actually be most effective, right? And I think that's key, because we spend a lot of time doing actions that are not effective. And you know, and you know, if you just weigh it and say, okay, even just a matter of like where you're spending your time, where you're spending your mind, where you're spending your emotion, where you're spending your thoughts, that's, you know, from a pragmatic approach, if you do that, you'll be a lot more effective overall. So
Yep.
Awesome, guys.
all right, see you guys next week.
All right.
Cheers.